friends, it's Father Jay. I am with you today in the church here at Calvary, where many of you have been able to rejoin us for in-person worship. And we are grateful for your presence. We're grateful to be able to get to do that. We have, of course, over the last several weeks, our policy has been to have 30% capacity here, which means a total of 50 people. That has been in keeping with the guidelines of the Centers for Disease Control, the state of North Carolina, and the Bishop of Western North Carolina. I know there has been some more news that has come out in the last few days from the CDC and more recently from the state, and we are still communicating with the bishop about what that means for our parishes and how we will gather and how we will worship. But I want you to know that we will continue to take these steps carefully, judiciously, appropriately, with as much information gathering as we can manage, and trying to make good decisions based on as much evidence as we can gather. So something that you should know, so that it's a long way of saying that I don't know yet when the numbers will increase for our in-person worship services. I think there's reason to believe we could increase the capacity in this space in the not too distant future, but we haven't made a decision about that yet. One of the principles that will continue to guide us, at least for now, is not trying to break Calvary into two groups. A group that has been vaccinated and a group that has not been vaccinated. Now, for some functions, that's unavoidable and maybe even appropriate. For instance, in our office, we will be asking for folks to return as volunteers who have done that in the past, and we will ask that those folks who do volunteer at our front desk be vaccinated, because everyone in the office is vaccinated, and given the amount of time we spend in proximity to one another, it's only appropriate. Worship services are a different entity. And for worship services, we have a different basis of making decisions. And our primary interest there is for as many people without distinction to be able to gather for worship in as safe a way as possible. So within the context of worship, we will not be making a distinction between those who have the vaccine and those who do not have the vaccine. Instead, we will be taking, at least for the time being, universal precautions as if everyone has not yet received the vaccine. Again, though, we will be following the guidance of the state of North Carolina, the CDC, and the Bishop of Western North Carolina in terms of capacity. So we might, for instance, be able to increase the percentage of our space that we use and decrease by a certain extent the social distancing that we engage in. So if you would like to attend services, please go to our website, look on the home page for the link to our sign up, and sign up there. If you come to sign up and you find that all of the spaces are taken, please sign the wait list. That lets us know that there is demand for additional spaces. And if we need to add additional services, we would be happy to do that. One of the things that I realize is that there are those of you for whom worshiping at 8 o'clock and worshiping in the way that we worship at 8 o'clock is what you would like to return to. That the 10:30 service, whether or not there is space, may not be the service that you would like to engage in. And so we will be looking sometime in the weeks not too far after our annual meeting, we will be looking to add back that 8 o'clock service so that that's available to the folks who want that service in particular. And we will have our annual meeting on May the 9th. Now that meeting will take place at 10:30. That meeting will take place within the context of our worship service at 10:30. So at our worship service, we will have worship, we will have the annual meeting, and we will have our Rogation Day procession and blessing of the community garden. That will all be a part of that worship service. So we hope that you will join us. And that service will be outdoors. It will be out past the labyrinth in that area. And because it will be outdoors, and because we will maintain distance, and as long as we continue to wear masks, I know CDC says you don't have to have a mask outdoors, but if we wear masks outdoors, then we can participate in congregational singing. So that's another good reason to have that service in that space. So I hope you'll make plans for all of that. We'll send out more details as we get closer. Again, I hope that you will sign up to join us in worship this weekend. And please, if you have interest in doing something in the service, like being a greeter, reading the lessons or the prayers of the people, being an acolyte, carrying the cross, lighting the candles, so forth and so on. Or being a Eucharistic minister, helping at communion. We will be in a position soon where we will want to have folks help us in those roles as well. So please email me to let me know if you're interested so that we can begin to build that core back up. And if you have participated in the past, I will reach out to you and see if that's something that you'd like to continue doing. But in any event, we have all sorts of ways not only to be present for worship, but to participate with a particular role in worship. And we'd really like for you to be a part of that, for you to share in the administration and leadership of the worship, because this is a table that we all come to together. We all gather around together. This is a table to which we are called not so that you can watch the clergy carry out a certain rite, but so that we together can remember the invitation that Jesus made to his disciples at the table, and we together can gather around the table and celebrate the Eucharist with one another and in the presence of God. So I invite you to attend worship in person, to take on one of these roles within the worship service, and to join us on May the 9th for our Eucharist and annual meeting. Because there are all sorts of exciting things that we are doing here at Calvary, and I am very much looking forward to participating in those with you. So until I see you, may God bless you and keep you. May God's face shine upon you and give you peace, both now and in the days to come. Amen.